What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and some more Blood and Plunder here as we work our way through the remaining French sub-factions. So today we got a pretty potent one for you, and that's the French Expeditionary Forces. So timeline-wise, roughly 1635 to 1713. It has some interesting history, too. It's kind of a combined arms force that the French occasionally were able to put together. Mix of buccaneers and other various forces, and it's got quite a bit going on here as far as things that you have available to you as far as your armies go. So as far as we jump in with force special rules, so you have a +2 to determine attacker, not the best one out there. You think usually +3 is the the more common one, but nonetheless we do have a small bonus towards that, so that certainly can be of value. And then, now interestingly, even though this was kind of a combined arms force with several different ship types attached and stuff, here we actually cannot include a ship of size 2 or larger. So again, we're not really going to be having any big naval engagements as far as large ships go. And then you do here get a little bit of a different setup as far as the supports versus cores. So you may, in this one, include one, I'm trying to get that glare off of here. This force may include one support unit for every core unit. Now, that being said, the core unit selection is very minimal in this. We basically have a choice between infantry or milice de Caraïbes or milice canadienne, so the militia units there. So really a grand total of 3, although really it seems like it's listed as either or for the militias. So either the Caribbean militia or the Canadian one. And then the infantry units, but again, 1 for 1. So 1 core then lets us dive into the support choices, which is really the bread and butter of this force. So, and again, we got quite a bit here, and even making use of some of the Native American allies. And thematically, of course, that would make more sense if we're taking like the Canadian militia and then with the Native Americans, but we can mix and match a little bit here too. So, we got the Piquiers de Milice, Flibustiers, again, some of our super elite units in the support choices here. Milice à cheval, so some mounted militia, buccaneers, of course, and then the warrior musketeers and young warriors and warriors, which I'll have to go back and check, because I think those are also just, there's that Canadian, or not the Canadian, sorry, there's that just box of generic, or the initial box of Native Americans, we should say, that came out where you can run them as a faction too. So I think that's, we'll have to double check. I think that's actually what they're referencing on that one. But anyway, we have 3 choices there. So, right, warrior musketeers, young warriors, and just the warrior units. And they have, again, all kinds of special things going on there. We finally can then bring in artillery de milice, marins, always a great choice. We got coureurs as well. That one, yeah, is more, I think, in the Canadian wheelhouse. And then milicians as well. So we're spoiled for support choices here. And with that 1 for 1, core to support, we really can, I think, customize pretty heavily in the list there. So that's I think, one of the key elements there. Now, we don't get any fancy swaps or special rule changes with this. It's just really a matter of, as you can tell, with the sheer volume of units that we have access to, again, to emphasize that combined arms approach towards it. Now, in the command option here, any French army commander, or if we want to get into the special characters, we got Jean-Bernard de Jean or Pierre Le Moyne d'Iberville. So some good choices there. But if we also want to upscale this into the army level, we get even more spoiled for choices, which we usually are when we get to the big boy games. We got the Wabanaki, Caribbean tribes, French Caribbean militia, the Royal Navy, basically picking off all the other lists that we get access to, more or less. Northeastern woodland tribes, Caribs, Canadian militia. Ironically, another allied faction, we could take yet another French Expeditionary Force and really focus on other things with that. And then finally, French Canadian privateers as well. So a whole hell of a lot of stuff going on here. But this is one where, again, in contrast to some of the ones we've looked at recently, without having to get special rule changes, swapping one thing for like core to support or whatever. It's just, again, the main thing is that 1 for 1 core to support. That being said, you're going to have to take a fair few of those core choices if you really want to unlock a lot of the support. And again, game size and all that will determine there. So some different approaches you could take too. Take minimal core units if you really want to just focus on the supports, make those a little bit larger. Go for a more blended or balanced approach. So there's just all kinds of neat things you can do here. Again, the list isn't going to narrow down and focus on one thing like some of the other forces where, again, the like a key rules swap or rules addition with like the special rules really like makes that individual list or perhaps unit within that list very potent beyond what it normally would be. This is just a, hey, I have access to all kinds of great things in more or less whatever quantity and combination I want. I'm going to be slightly aggressive with the determined attacker rule here with that +2 built in. Not going to get access to the super large ships in this, but again, for the games where you have your smaller ships and then just more land-based battles, you're gonna do pretty well here. Let us know what you guys think of the French Expeditionary Forces, if you've run them, and kind of how you go about your list and some of the typical game sizes out there, like 150, 200, and then obviously all the larger games too. So I look forward to hearing from you guys there. Be sure to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. We'll have a couple more here as we wind our way through the remaining French forces, and then moving on to other factions as well, and some other Blood and Plunder content as we're gearing up for getting our remaining paint and build list done for AdeptCon, and we'll try and bring you guys plenty of coverage from that this year as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys.